everyone. Hi, good morning, and welcome to CIL Academy's Zero to Techie induction program. My name is Adekoya. I lead the technology and engineering function within CIL Intelligence Limited, and I am one of your instructors for this program. Just a quick one about the platform. So you all should be able to hear me. If you can't, please put a comment in the QA section just saying you can't, or if you're struggling with um, hearing or seeing any of the presentation today. You're all in listen only mode. When the time comes and you need to ask questions, we will either give you the chance to ask those questions by promoting you to be able to speak, or you just type your questions and we will pick them up. There might be polls as we go on in these sessions, and I'd advise that you just pick up those polls and just respond. It will better help us to engage with you. So again, welcome to the Zero to Techie program. I am going to do a quick introduction of the organization and what we are aiming to be able to do with this program. So CIL Intelligence Limited is a technology consulting firm that helps individuals and businesses adopt technology effectively and also profitably. We help organizations not just in Africa but around the world to build systems with cloud, AI, and also IoT. So what this means is we are always engaging with different types of customers, and we're always building interesting solutions and playing with very interesting technology. One arm of our organization called CIL Academy is where we develop the talents that do all of this amazing stuff for our clients. So CIL Academy focuses very much on competence. So we see a lot of training organizations out there, which in a lot of instances we will partner with, and they focus on giving you the theory. But we all know that sometimes what you're learning can be very expensive to learn. Let me put it that way, in terms of cloud or data. So, you know, consuming a lot of storage space or building data pipelines or building networks in the cloud sometimes can be expensive. So a lot of people focus just on the theory of it as opposed to the hands-on practical of it. We at CIL, we focus more on the hands-on. We try to get you doing it actually, and getting that experience from doing. So that's primarily where we stand out in the training market. Now, the program you're all attending the induction for is called Zero to Techie. And what Zero to Techie means is, as long as you have basic knowledge of using computers, so you can go to a browser website, you can read a document on the internet, and you have basic knowledge about computer, and you have the time, we expect that our program is rich enough to get you to become a techie within the 6 months period. Now, some of you are not coming into this program green. So some of you actually come with a lot of knowledge already. So we'll beg that those of you that already have a level of knowledge and understanding should be patient, because we want to get everybody else on the program to a minimum level before we start getting into the more complicated and more complex topics around cloud and data engineering. So we will start from the very basics. We'll start from ground zero, right? So you don't have a clue what is in the tech space and you're about to become a superstar techie. And that's where we are taking you on this journey. This program is fundamentally free. So as you can see, you've not been asked to pay anything. There might be or exam vouchers that we would heavily discount for you during the course of the program, but we've not asked you to pay anything for this program. And what that means is we're committing a lot, we're investing a lot of resources into this program to ensure that we can develop talent out of this. Now, that means we would be very judicious with our investment, and that means people that are not able to participate, complete exercises, attend sessions, will not be progressed to the next level. So there are 8 modules in this program. If you don't complete module 1, you will not be given access to module 2, and if you don't complete module 2, you will not also get access to module 3, and it goes on and on. You will always have access to the community in Slack and Telegram, social media, and all the other support services. But for us to be able to commit to you, we're also looking for you to commit to us. Throughout the program, you will have access to our internal CIL specialists. So you will have access to engineers working on some really cool stuff to be able to engage, ask questions, work alongside with them on projects. Now, some of you will actually get a chance to work with us on some of the projects that we're working on. Some of you will get the chance to actually build stuff, right? But then this is an investment we will make in you if you invest also in yourselves. Now, I'll just talk about this. Now, a lot of people everybody will get an opportunity in life. Everybody will get a chance, right? And I believe that for a lot of you, this is your chance. But if you're not prepared and if you don't take advantage of it, it might just pass. So please set your mind to taking advantage of the opportunity in front of you. I want you to be very focused on completing your lessons, getting feedback, engaging with your instructors and your mentors throughout the program. Now, I'm just going to put a bit more around what CIL is about and what how we try to build an ecosystem in the next slide. So, as an organization, we are Secure Intelligence Limited. That means we are first and foremost, we're a business, right? We focus on serving customers, and some of those customers are also individuals. So individuals that have like fantastic tech ideas. They have this idea, I want to build something, but I don't really have all the skills, to do that. So we engage with them, we take them through that journey, we build up their tech stack for them, we build up the competence, and we help them to fly. And that is what secure intelligence fundamentally is. Now, to feed this, we need competent, hands-on technical talent, right? In several domains, across several domains: product management, delivery management, cloud engineering, front end, and all of that. And that's what our CIL Academy produces. We take enthusiastic people that have time, and people that are willing to invest in themselves, and we build up their competence. And for a lot of them, we will offer them employment. Sometimes they get employment through partner organizations, and sometimes the opportunities come to them because they are skilled also. And CIL Academy flagship program is Zero to Techie. And Zero to Techie, like I said earlier, is about taking you from that interest only, enthusiast only, to actual competent expert level that allows you to walk into an organization and be able to answer confidently the questions that any cloud engineer should answer. We'll also give you the experience so that you're not going into a place green. You're not going into a place having never touched Terraform before, just haven't heard about Terraform. Or for some of you, you've heard about a lot of you might have even started up servers in the cloud, right, with free accounts and all of that. But then running workloads on those servers, building up those servers using CI/CD pipelines, or deploying applications into those pipelines using some sort of automation, or troubleshooting complex network engineering scenarios. All of those experience we want to give to you, right, within this program before you get in front of the employer. So your employers, or when you want to work on your own project, you go across as very competent, having a very wide appreciation for what the landscape looks like, having a very wide generalist knowledge, but also specializing in core competencies. A data engineer should understand what data pipelines are. A data engineer should be able to work with architects and design a pipeline, right? Should understand what consumers are, what producers are, what raw data means, what data schema is. Now, it's not just words, right? But these things are actual things that you can actually build, that you need to use your hands to build. And we want to help you do that. I'm going to be wrapping this introduction up in a minute, but I'd say if you've got questions about CIL Academy Secure Intelligence Limited as an organization, or the Zero to Techie program, I'll be more than happy to take those questions in the QA chat. And I don't know if we've got any poll running right now, but Um,
My network or OJ is not saying something.
It's the network.
So do we wait for him or Bolan? Do you want to step in here?
sorry, I didn't get that.
Well, hi, OJ. We lost you for a bit, for a few minutes. The network.
Okay. All right. Sorry about that. So, um, I've just gotten to the question around: are we using infrastructure as code or are we working from the console? So it's everything. So we will write infrastructure as code. We'll write CloudFormation for AWS. We would play around with Terraform. We would even go as far as Bicep and ARM in Azure and all of that. So we're going to go around a wide range of deployment approaches. So not just infrastructure as code, CLI, everything that's in the book. The idea is to get hands-on with all of this. Do you have to attend the afternoon session after this? Yes, you do. You need to attend all the induction sessions. I think, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Jumo, there will be codes given at the end of each section, and you might need to do something with those codes. Someone asked the question, what's the difference between a cloud architect and a cloud engineer? So I will say this. An architect typically does not necessarily get into the low level details around engineering. They are very business focused typically. So they would typically understand what the use case is, what the business is trying to achieve. They will help engineers make decisions about how best to apply technology or engineering techniques to meeting those business requirements. But then I believe, and this is just an opinion, that engineers make better architects, right? So if you've got experience actually getting something to work, then if you're in a room discussing business objectives and how to deliver those objectives, then you have a very clear, a much clearer understanding about what works, what is achievable, what is practical, and then you can bring that, you can help that conversation better. However, there's also usually there's a downside to that. Engineers can sometimes be too focused on the technology side of it, the ones and the zeros, and they have a very it's a common tendency to forget that it's all about the business objective. So an architect is more focused on delivering the business objective, the value from a system, but an engineer is usually more focused around getting the tech to work. 8 to 5, shall we have access to recordings? Unfortunately, this program is a bit intensive, so we expect you to have at least 5 hours a day available to learn, to practice. And as you can understand, some of these sessions are going to be running live. So that means you would be in a room like this with an instructor. It might be a room where you can also talk to. It won't always be this scenario where you're just typing your question. So in that scenario, the recording might not really help. It's just adding to a lot of the theory that you will have to get through early on. So just something to that just I need to emphasize. There's a lot of content that we're going to share with you. Most of this content from a theoretical point of view, they don't come from CIL. So we've curated a lot of the theory, and we will send you to those URLs, to those websites, to go and get the theory, and then come back with the theory. We will test your knowledge of the theory, and then we'll get into the practicals with you. Our focus is more on the doing of it, not the theory. So there's materials curated from a lot of sources that you might already be familiar with. We've curated it and we structured it in a learning program, but the theoretical part of it is just the basics. It helps you when we get into the hands-on. So the hands-on is where I believe we add the biggest value, and that's where your expectation should be around. So for 8 to 5, this program might be very intense and hard for you to follow. So you might, I don't know how you would combine this with a full-time 9 to 5 job. There's a question here around for cloud engineering, would it cover AWS or Azure or Google Cloud platform? So our intention, as you'll see, is focused on cloud engineering. We're going to take you from AWS into Google, into Azure. We might even talk a bit about Oracle Cloud or Alibaba Cloud or any other cloud. That might come up in conversations and in some of the work that we do. But fundamentally, we want you to focus on the concepts that a cloud engineer needs to do their day-to-day job. There's a lot of the stuff that we do that we will do in AWS, right? But we'll also play in Google and Azure. But we're going to have, we're getting a lot of support, and as the week progresses, you would have a lot of speakers. A lot of them you'll see are from AWS as an organization, and AWS is supporting this program heavily. So there are a lot of resources that we will have access to within AWS environments. That means a lot of our practical use cases might be in AWS, but we're going to be working across all the hyperscalers. But it's important for you to focus on the cloud engineering concepts and the skills of a cloud engineer, as opposed to focusing primarily on the cloud service providers. Another question I have here is, I thought this program, we're going to cover business analytics. I haven't heard anything about it. No. So CIL Academy has several domains, product management, delivery management, business analysis, several domains, but this particular cohort 5 is focused on data engineering and cloud engineering. So I'm not so sure for business analytics, which is not exactly business analysis, it's more of I call it BI, just information, being able data analyst kind of thing. I think that's, you might get a bit of benefit from the data engineering track, but this particular cohort is focused on cloud and data engineering. Afternoon session, is that compulsory? Yes. Is the program cloud agnostic? Technically, yes, but like I said earlier, we are going to be, working across multiple cloud service providers. Is the program a remote internship, and is it a paid one? Like if we're given monthly stipends during the internship? No, unfortunately, we do not provide stipends for this, right? Maybe we might be looking at changing the name from internship to program, but what we offer is essentially free. We'll also offer you like discounted certification vouchers when you get to that level where we think that you're competent enough to write those certifications. So I think in the next session, there might be a bit more around where we expect you to get to in terms of certifications. But essentially, it's remote, it's fully online, and it's not paid, and there's no monthly stipend. Will this be beginner friendly? Absolutely. So the intention, like I said at the very beginning, is for you to be able to come in here just as an enthusiast, just as someone that has a lot of interest. But if you put in the work, we expect to make you an expert, a competent engineer within 6 months. During the induction, are we working hands-on or just gaining knowledge about the program? So the induction is focused about the knowledge of the program, giving you an awareness of the things that will make you succeed during the program, not just during the program, but also beyond the program, hopefully giving you access to communities and pointing you in the right direction to help you drive your career forward. I think there's another question around whether the program is beginner friendly. I think I've answered that probably twice or thrice now. Please, do we have access on AWS resource from your end? Yes, not just AWS Azure and Google. So the intention is we will give you access to certain environments to work on certain use cases as the program progresses. But that is when we get you to the level where we expect you to be able to do that. Please, is it possible to learn cloud engineering without having any knowledge of coding or tech at all? I'd say it's possible to start, but it's not possible to grow or be successful without being able to read and write code. Now, I know a lot of people, personal friends, that every time you talk about coding, they freak out. You know, they kind of go, "Oh my God, I cannot code. I cannot do that." Now, I recognize that those fears might exist, you know, and not everybody's ever going to write code. But I want you to try to approach this with an open mind, right? See how you get on with just one line of code. Don't assume that you need to have a full, you know, competence to be able to write all the code required to run Facebook or LinkedIn, for example, right? In one day. I don't think that's practical or even achievable, but as long as you can walk out of the fear, you just need to kind of get yourself out of that fear. It is not as complicated as you think, and we hope that this program, right, introduces you to that also in a very subtle way, okay, but fundamentally to excel in cloud engineering, data engineering. You will need to be familiar with code, right? It's not about being an expert with writing code. And what I find is there's very little brand new code that you're going to write. There's a lot available on GitHub. There's a lot available from the cloud service providers themselves, things that get you started. And once you start, you can sort of couple the rest of it together if you get the basics right. What advice would you give to us to enable us choose between cloud and data track? Well, I'd say this to you. Cloud and data are very close in today's tech space because for you to become a very good data engineer, right? I'm not talking about data scientists here. I'm talking about data engineers. You need to have a very good a level of competence in cloud engineering because nearly everything going forward is going to be run in the cloud. There'll be few organizations coming up in the future that will have on-prem or non-cloud infrastructure to create your data engineering pipelines from or use non-cloud tools. Nearly every tool now is online, either as a PaaS, IaaS, or SaaS product. So you will need to sort of have both. In terms of choosing between both, I would say there's a choice that you make when you're applying for jobs or when you're getting into a project. But if you build the skills, right, you'll find out that the difference between both tracks is can sometimes be very, very slight, okay, depending on the level of skills you built across both. I find that most data engineers that started their careers in the cloud can also work effectively as cloud engineers, even application engineers, software engineers. There's a lot that you can do with these skills and training. There's the title, sometimes they hide the fact that when we get into the battlefield, right, of tech, we're kind of all just trying to solve problems, troubleshoot issues, create automation at the end of the day, right? Those monikers, they kind of disappear when you get into the mix, into the battle. I've got just 4 minutes left, so I will try my best to go faster on the questions. What is the class delivery mode, weekdays or weekends? So it's weekdays, and it's during the day. It's remote. Some of these things are self-learning, so we'll give you stuff. Go read up this, write this report, answer these quizzes, and some of them are live classroom sessions where we'll go, okay, fine, everybody log into your PC, or this is how to do it, and then we go through that. So it's a mix. What's the difference between a data analyst and a data engineer? I'm not going to take that question, but I think just Google that online. There are a lot of resources about that. Are we learning both data and cloud engineering, or is this going to be specialized? The early part of the curriculum is shared, and then towards the later end of the curriculum, there will be some splits. At the end of the program, are we getting a certificate of internship or training? Yes, we as CIL will be giving a certificate to endorse your participation and completion of the program. But additionally, during the program, you will have the opportunity to write actual certifications from cloud service providers. Are we expected to pay any fees at any point in the program? No, we're not expecting you to pay for any fees. If you do pay for anything, it will be because you're buying certification vouchers because you want to complete certification exams, which we would also try to discount for you. Please, you made mention of modules. Please, how many modules are we looking through? There'll be 8 modules. Each module runs for about 3 weeks. 6 months is 6 months. When you say 6 months is enough time to get us to junior or entry level, I expect 6 months to make you competent, right? But getting entry level roles, I believe, should be much easier for you at that point. Intermediate roles, you should be competent enough. Experts will depend on you, how much time you invest in the material and how much time you invest in yourself. But from my personal experience, 6 months of intensive, dedicated training, you can actually become very competent in a lot of things. It's not clear. Okay, audio. Do you provide internships after the program? So it's not just internships. We will hire some of you. Some of our partners will hire some of you, and it's really about making you competent, and we will support you in your career journey, trying to find some of you jobs and trying to get you placements in other organizations also. For those of us working and schooling, how do we? I think I've answered that also. How long will the program be? I think I've answered that. Cover training for cloud and data engineering. Yeah, I've answered that. Is it? No. What is AWS, please? I have zero knowledge on the cloud. Okay. Please Google that. Can we have weekend sessions? It depends. I don't think we've got that particularly. It's more weekday programs, but you can have assignments that you take off and you do over the weekend. Now, I am not going to be able to take more questions, but maybe in the next slot, whoever takes that will be able to take more questions. But now I'm going to be handing you over to Juwon, Bolanle, and TC, who will be coordinating the rest of this induction program. But again, I want to say welcome to CIL Academy. We're excited that you've chosen to join us on this journey, and we're committing that we'll do everything we can, right, everything within our means to ensure that you come out on the other side of this program as very competent cloud and data engineers. Thank you very much for your time, and welcome once again.
Thank you very much, OJ, for that session. Thank you, everyone. I can see a lot of questions in the comment section. Please, just if you have any questions, drop it during the session. A lot of these questions will be answered. All you have to do is attend these sessions, pay attention. Some of these questions that is being asked over and over again has been answered. If you're just patient enough to listen, like OJ rightly stated, the induction is to let you know what this entire program is about, and so please just pay attention. A lot of your questions will be answered during the session. All right, not to waste any more time, thank you very much for those of us that are clapping. Thank you, OJ, as well. Not to waste any more time so that we can get into the second part of the induction this morning. I will be introducing the technology lead, Blessing. Is Blessing available now? Okay. All right. I'll be introducing Blessing to give us an overview of the curriculum and the expectations. So some of our questions will definitely be answered during this section. All right. Can we have Blessing?
Let's So let me know if you can hear me.
Blessing. Yes, Blessing, we can hear you. Good morning.
Good morning, you. Right. I'm still allowing some security settings on my device so I can get full control of the presentation. So bear with me, please. Right. We still have 5 hands raised. Joan, can you repeat the protocol for questions, please, so we can lower those 5 hands and get the questions in the way you want them to come in?
I'll
Okay.
repeat that. Okay, so you don't have to raise your hands. Just put your questions in the Q&A box and it will be answered. You don't have to raise your hands. We would not be able to take everyone's questions verbally. Just drop your questions in the chat box and definitely we'll get to it. Thank you.
Okay, I will probably keep this one.
Sorry, Blessing. And do well to lower your hand when you type the question already. Just lower your hand when you've done that. Thank you. Blessing. Continue.
Fab. So I'll keep the session short, and that might allow us to even take more questions. Okay. That most of what I'll be saying here you've already heard from OJ, so you kind of hear me repeating them, but that's for emphasis because that's what the program is all about. So Blessing Udoisang, and I've been into IT for a couple of years, and I'm not going to bore you with some special introductions. I reckon in the next 6 months, those of us hanging around for the long haul, you get to know me a lot more, right? I'm not the important person today. You all are. You are the important people, okay? What is the curriculum? What are the expectations? I think my focus will be more on the second part than the first. I'm not very interested in what the curriculum looks like. I'm more interested in what I'm expecting from you, because if you have the right mindset, you can tackle any curriculum whatsoever, right? The curriculum is just a list of go and do this, go and do that. But if you're committed, for me, that is what I really want to look to. So on this slide, we say 0 to Techie, right? No one is ever at 0. That's not possible. But we have to call it something, right? So we've called it 0 to Techie. You've got something already. You've got some experience. You've been somewhere. You've used some kind of you've had experience from somewhere. For me, I remember back in the days, I used to walk into the bank, and you go into those revolving doors in a bank, and you get all this music playing to you, and it scans and lets you in through the other side. I used to find it a very interesting experience and always ask myself, what's behind this? Right? So there is some kind of experience you've got. It might not be that you've written code, it might not be that you've launched some website or been part of some fantastic IT stuff. No, there are some experience you've already brought to bear that would guide you through this. So you're never really at 0. Okay. So let's say we're all starting at basic. We know what a computer is. We know if I put this up on the screen, I'm pretty sure everybody know what that is. Okay. It's a mouse, right? So there is something that you've got. What we're trying to do with this program over the next 6 months is ask you to do certain things, right? Give you some pointers. And for each of those things you do, it takes you from one stage to another. You get to the point where you go, right, I think I'm intermediate. You get to the point where you go, I'm advanced. Okay. As Ojo rightly said, the program at this stage is focused on cloud engineering and data engineering. We have other practices within CIL Academy, but this is focused on cloud and data engineering. And the way it's going to go is from, I'll say from next week, because all through this week, we're going to be running you through certain things. We'll give you overview of many different areas. But from next week, you start to do some self-study, some self-led study, okay? And then you start to do some practice, all right? The more you go through this, the more you gain more knowledge, and you get to the stage where you'll be able to do some certifications, right? The certifications are there to kind of keep you focused, because if I ask you to go and take all of this training on the curriculum and you start taking them, if there is nothing to look forward to, you might lose focus at some point, right? So we have certifications that are real, professional ones, Amazon ones, Azure ones, whichever ones you want to focus yourself on, you'll be able to take those. But also within the program, we've got quiz that would allow you to kind of check on your knowledge, how far you're getting, if you think you're getting things right. Okay. One of the most interesting part for me, usually when we do this, is the fact that you've got people within the academy that would give you that guide and mentorship. So you're never ever too far from help if you need it. Okay. So keep that in mind. There will be things that you would have to tackle yourself, but if you struggling to get the answers, we are here to give you help. So don't kind of lost in what you're trying to do and go, oh, there's no help at all. There is always help available. Okay. When you look on the left side of the slide, you've got for both sides, you've got fundamentals, cloud and data engineering. I'll probably cover some of those fundamentals this morning also. Then there are the cloud basics, there are automation, there's architecture, and there's operations on the cloud side. Within the data side, we've got database, we've got data providers and consumers, we've got pipelines, we've got the tools and techniques. Now, if any of these things I've read out mean nothing to you whatsoever, don't worry. That's the whole purpose of the program. Okay, they will gain some meaning as we proceed, right? And if you think you already know all of these things, well, that's fine. To what depth, to what extent do you know them? Okay, there's always a next level to what you think you already know. Okay, can we go to the next slide, please? Let me just check how many of these slides are here so we can cover that. Give me a second. Joe, can we get to the next slide, please? Thank you.
Blessing, I think that's the last slide on the course.
Yeah, there was one I want to talk about. If you go back up, that there is tell me 1 second. All right. Yeah, there was one that was up when you were speaking, OJ. I wanted to talk about it a little bit more. Okay, yes, it's behind. So go backwards a little bit, Joel. The one that's got the CIL Internship Zero with arrows on it. Fab, yeah, that one. So I was talking about certifications a few seconds ago, and I just wanted to give some sense of when you talk certifications, what kind of certifications are we talking about here? Okay, obviously with the trainings that we're giving you, when you look at CSP on that slide, that stands for cloud service providers, right? We are specifically saying you would get certifications on one of those. Okay, that whether that be AWS, whether that be Azure, that be Google, right? You will get specific certifications that will come as part of these trainings that you're taking. So bear that in mind. So for some of us, you might already have got one or two certifications in an area, and you might say, okay, I want to go further. Within the program, it's not going to be a case of everybody's moving, everybody move to one stage and then we wait for everybody move to the next stage. If you've already got some of these things, there will be a stage where we can move you even further to the next stage of where you are. So that's what I wanted to call out on this slide. So I think if that's it, we can take more questions before I go into the next one. Am I also covering the 10,000 feet this morning? Yes.
No, please. Yeah, I think you've done enough already.
Okay, right. So let's take some questions then. Would like to know when was the last one that you took. So the last question you took, OJ, was on the duration, right? The question on what are the times for the live sessions, Joanne, has that been taken? Can you take that, please? What are the times for the live sessions? So that's coming from Sondani.
I'm not seeing this question. I'm trying to look for it.
So I will give the time, and if I'm wrong, you can always get corrected later. Happy to be wrong. So I think the time is in West African timing. We're starting from 10 o'clock WAT every day, and then the afternoon sessions also run from 2 o'clock WAT West African time. So 10 to 11:30 in the morning West African time, and 2 to 3:30 in the afternoon, again West African time. So please convert that to whichever time zones you are. WAT is the time zone I've given you, 10 to 11, 2 to 10 to 11:30, sorry, and 2 p.m. to 3:30. Okay.
Okay.
I'm also putting that in the chat window so you can grab that, everyone. Hopefully this goes through to everyone when I type it. Okay. The other question, when exactly is the program starting? Where will we start learning about cloud and data engineering? Right, the program has started straight away. The program has started, and today you're going to start learning about cloud and data engineering. That's a straightforward answer to that. Okay. Will the slide be shared after the session? Joe, do you want to take that?
No, actually, it's not be shared. However, all of the materials will be shared. Training material. So when the class starts, right, which will be after the induction, every other materials that you're going to interact with will be on the LMS, right? But again, if there's any need for any material at all to be shared, it's definitely will be shared with you. But this slide you're looking at right now during this induction will not be shared.
Okay. Please, are we supposed to use Linux OS? I think we'll answer that as we get into the hands-on session. We will use all operating systems that's required to complete the tasks that you'll be given. So there is no single operating system that will be favored over the other. So yes, in answer to your question, we will use Linux. Yes, we will use Windows. Yes, we use whichever we need to get the job done. Because when you go out there as a cloud and data engineer, you're not going to say I do Linux only, right? You will learn everything that is required to get the job done. Okay, thank you, Emmanuel. I would appreciate if the slide can be shared and also the program. So that's been answered already. Okay, is there a portal for this cohort? Yes, you get all of that as we proceed. That there are tools that you're going to use, right? That online tools that will be given, so that there's a portal that will be used. So relax on that one. You will be added and you get that. I think we'll probably also have Slack channels, I believe. Joe, do you have Slack channels for this cohort?
Yes, we do. So
Yeah,
if you're
okay.
here and you registered for the cohort and you're not on the Slack channel, please just notify me or any of the organizers on the call so we can know what to do about that. But there's a private Slack channel for the participants of this cohort.
Right. Are we going to choose between data and cloud engineering? Are we going to are we doing the two? Right. A very good question, that one. I would ideally I would say at some point, but you don't have to choose today. You don't even have to choose next week, not even next month. We would open up the training materials and you will get a feel on both sides. And you find yourself leaning towards one or the other. And I would say to you, both sides are quite extensive. There's a lot of breadth on both sides. So if you want to do both, you find yourself stretched thin between. So you would experience both on the onset, but I would recommend, if possible, you choose the one that you best align to and go with that one. Okay. Either way, that I would say I would like to hear what, so Samuel, as we go on this, at some point I'll be speaking with each and every one of us individually. I'd want to know what you have in mind that's your driver for choosing between one or the other. And you tend to find that if you're looking at opportunities, if you're looking at things you can do, if you're looking at experience you can have, or if you're just looking at let's even call out the important thing, money you can make, you find that on both sides that are evenly spaced. You can get whatever you want from both sides, but pick the one you really love to do and go for it. Okay. And if you're thinking of is one easier than the other, no, they're both easy aspects and difficult, complicated, challenging aspects to it, whether you're in data or you're in cloud. So when we open up the curriculum, pick the ones that you think you most aligned to and experiment on it. It's all about an experiment, right? And if you think you want to change long term during the journey, then feel free to do so. Okay. End of the day, we'll open up these things to you and you make of it what is best for you. Okay. I think this is from Abdul saying, I'm a beginner in cloud engineering, but have a knowledge in the backend development. My question is, will there be recorded sessions for some of us who are working? Do you want to take that? Will there be sessions recorded and opened up to those that are working?
Unfortunately, no. Right. Like Oji already said, all the courses are actually very intensive, right? And if you are in any of the classes, every question you might have is going to be attended to. So I will advise you get like learning material, get writing material, any means you can use to, you know, document your learning. That's the best you can get from here. And afterwards, all the other learning materials are going to interact on the LMS is going to be accessible to you. So you can always go back there at your own time to learn as much as you want. You can anytime. It's self-paced, basically. I don't know if that clarifies for you. But yeah, you have access to anything you want to learn as far as you are interested in learning it.
Thank you very much, Joel. There are so many questions, and if I've not managed to answer yours, please, we'll try and cover them at some point. There are so many questions coming through on if you're expected to join both sessions. Yes, you are expected to join both morning and afternoon sessions, please. And like Juwon said, none is going to be recorded. Okay, and in some of these sessions, you'll be given codes that mean you get access to certain things. So you really need to attend to get those codes, please. Okay. I think this is an interesting one from Daniel Anyanwu. Hi, Blessing. I'm always overwhelmed with tech courses, but I really want to do this. Like, that's all I've got, no matter what. How do you think I can achieve this, even with the fear of not being able to go through all? This is important, please. You don't even have to say it's important. We know it's important, right? And every single question we're getting from you, we take them treat them very seriously. Now, the reason why people get overwhelmed is sometimes with trainings like this, a lot is thrown at you, and you sometimes want to run at the pace of someone else. I would say to you, run at your own pace. Okay, that there is where you are. Like I said, none of us is at zero. Okay, we all have somewhere we're starting from. Now, if it means that you have to step backwards a little bit in order to catch up on certain things, then come back to where you are, then that's what you have to do, right? We'll get some sessions where we're saying to people, do this, do that, do this, do that, and you find, oh, I can't do any of this. You speak to the mentors on the program, they'll say, okay, maybe you need to have this other knowledge first to be able to understand this more. To give you a very good example, someone will say to you, right, go to GitHub, write your code, raise a pull request, and then we'll merge it. And you're like, what are you on about? Because you've not had any knowledge of source code control or version control or source code management, it's all confusing when someone says to you, go and raise a pull request and get your code merged. Then at that point, you step back, you go and build up some knowledge on source code management, and then you understand those basics. Once you understand those basics, you come back to what you're trying to do, and then you get it done. So don't give up when you feel overwhelmed. I think that's the most important message you get from this, Daniel. Don't give up when you're feeling overwhelmed. Okay, just take a step back and ask for help where necessary. Don't let anybody make you feel like, oh, you don't know this thing, and then that's it. You're done. You're not good enough. There is no such thing. Okay. There are things that I am still learning. There are things that everyone is still learning up until now. No one knows it all. Okay. So just take a step back. Not only the person that has asked this question, every one of us. This is the message to every one of us. This program is intense. This program is intense. No, you're not hearing an echo. It is me repeating myself. The program is intense. There are days you're just going to go, God, I can't keep up. You have to try, right? You have to try. And in addition to the things you're being asked to do, you're going to find yourself going back to do certain things on your own to get a hang of it. Okay. If you ask to do one thing once, why not try do it twice? Why not try do it 3 times so you gain the mastery of that thing? Okay, if you already know how to do a certain thing and you've been asked to do it, why not try it a different way? Okay, So these are the things that you need to bear in mind as you come on the program. It is intense. You are going to feel overwhelmed, okay? But don't let that deter you. Ask for help where you need to. Ask from your fellow students in the academy. Ask from the faculty leads, the practice leads, the mentors within the academy. You will have help. Hope that answers your question and hope that gets a message across to other people also. Head the training involves a bit of coding. So I would like to know if there's a coding language preference, sir. Right. We'll use the language that fits the job, right? We don't have I don't have special preferences. Maybe some of us might do, I don't, right? If we need to do Python, we'll go Python. If we need to do JavaScript, we'll go JavaScript. If we need to write code to build infrastructure like CloudFormation, like Terraform, if all of these things I'm saying don't even mean anything to you, don't you worry, okay? Remember, this is a journey. This is an experience. Just take it one step at a time. Okay. We would try and get the language that fits the job. And if you're not conversant with it, we'll give you help to start to learn that language one step at a time. There is no language that is that difficult to learn. It's just a bit of time commitment and a bit of the right guidance. Okay. My question is, will there be recorded? No, we've answered that. No recorded sessions, please. 5 and 10. Are we going to be learning DevOps? Of course, you will be learning that. It's part of the program. And when you say will you be learning DevOps, maybe to you kind of think DevOps have a specific meaning. You know, there's a special thing about DevOps. No, development operations. By the time you finish learning all of this, you would have all the component parts to put them together to become either a DevOps engineer, a DevOps practitioner, or a DevOps whatsoever you want to call yourself. Okay, so don't think too much about what these things are called. And the thing with IT, let me just put this out there to every one of us on the program. The thing with IT is we have these fantastic names that we kind of cook up for every single thing, right? There is DevOps, there is phishing, there's vishing, there is voicemail, there's email, there's whatever. It doesn't matter. We'll break this thing down to what they really are in real practice, in real practical terms. For me, good hands-on is more important than being able to speak certain language. Those doesn't matter. You might go to an interview and you can speak all the DevOps, whatever you want. By the time you're giving something to do, if you can't do it, then what's the point? Okay. Yeah. Still more questions coming through. Any of the presenters, Joel, James, and Bolanle, if there's particular questions you want me to pick and answer, please call it out immediately. And then we're going towards the 10 o'clock mark.
Okay, just to reiterate on what I said earlier about the recording not being available, it's not going to be shared to anyone on the call. That's what I meant. However, it's going to be made available on our YouTube channel, right? So just go to YouTube and search for CIL Academy. You see all the programs, the previous ones and the one we're currently doing, and other ones there. Okay, so if you still want to listen to the presenters again all over, so you have access to do that. Just go to the YouTube channel, search for CIL Academy, you see it and consume away. Blessing, I don't think I have any question here now that I think the other ones that I might want to answer have been responding to them. I think the only question I saw earlier that really interests me, yeah, I think I sent 2 questions around that, is the schedule for the induction. When someone asks, is this how it's going to be for the entire program? No. And another person will say, is I knew that we are going to attend 2 sessions. Is this going to continue even after the induction? No. This morning and afternoon schedule is only for the induction, right? The schedule for the remaining part of the program is different from this, and that's going to be communicated as well. Okay, so you don't have to worry about sending out pieces like this every morning and afternoon. Okay, so I wanted to provide an answer to that. Blessing, I think you can still go ahead.
Yes, thank you. There is a question here about the former speaker saying something about passing a particular module before advancing to the next. And the question is, are these modules to be faced individually, or at some point, are we to be split into groups? So do one of you want to take that, please?
Okay. Bola, do you want to take that? I should go ahead.
Go ahead, John.
Okay. Yeah, so as we just already explained again, the modules are kind of linked to each other. I mean, we understand that it might not be possible for you to just do 3 without doing 1 and 2. So we build the programs to it's actually layered on each other. So you are expected, it's actually part of the prerequisite, you're expected to finish module 1 before you can access module 2 and so on, right? And talking about splitting into groups, everybody's open to form some sort of partnership with anyone that you might want to pick on the call. But when we get to there's a part of the program where we speak more on the grouping and how you can, create partnership with your peers. But when we get to that part, we'll talk about it in more details. But yes, the courses are layered on each other, and you have to finish one before the other.
I want to add something very quickly to what Joanne is saying. I know that we have so many questions. This program has been carefully divided into 6 months, so there's so much to learn. I think you should just relax and be patient. You can't know everything on this call. Like I said, OJ and everyone has said earlier, this week, the induction week, is to give you an insight to what the 6 months is going to be like. You're going to have a lot of questions answered. You may not get all your questions answered this morning. That's why we have the morning and afternoon sessions for the rest of the week. There'll be a lot of questions being answered. There are things to share. We can't share everything in an hour or two. Just be patient. I see a lot of questions. Most of them are in line with what is the program going to look like, the timeline, the group works, the modules, how is it going to be passed? You will get communications as time goes by. Let's just enjoy the processes. Try to listen to whatever is being said, because a lot of these questions will definitely be answered. Thank you.
Yes, yeah, and I would say one of the things we would also try to do on the program is to teach you how to find some answers to some questions that has been asked. So a good one is this one that has been asked here about what's the correlation between data science and data engineering, and I've just done a bit of search on Google, and the answer I've put there in the response, that's not from me, that's direct from Google, but very good answer. We'll teach you to be able to do things like that, because not every single question you would need to run with someone, because someone can give you half of the answer, but you need to be able to learn to do your own research. Okay, that's one of the things we'd encourage in the program. So watch out for things like that. You might come with a question, and I do agree it's not very polite to answer your question with a question, but if the objective is to get you to learn a technique, an approach to answering that question, you may get a question back that allows you to go and learn to do that research. Okay, so it's 10 o'clock. So Jumo, handing back to yourselves. Let me know what the next thing is, please. Thank you.
All right, so I think it's mostly Bolanle from here.
Thank you very much, Blessing. Thank you very much, Jumo and OJ. We will be taking this is supposed to be the question and answer session, but I think Blessing has done justice to most of the questions that has been asked. If we want to ask any questions in addition to the ones that has been answered, please let's drop the questions in the Q&A section, and we'll be taking those questions in the next few minutes before we wrap up the morning section. Questions that have not been answered already, please. Then Juan, I noticed a few people say they do not have access to the Slack channel yet, and they registered. So how can they get this access so that they can be part of the community?
All right, James. James, are you on the call? Can you please provide answers to that?
All right, for those that have not been added to the Slack channel, they'll have to send a message to either myself or to Blessing to add them up on the channel, because you need to have their email addresses to be able to add them to the Slack channels.
Right. how can they send this message across? Is there an email address that you send it to?
Okay, so let them just send it to Academy at Secure Intel. I'll just answer the question on the chat so everybody will get it.
All right, Academy at Secure Intel. So for those of us who have not gotten access to Slack channel, please Academy at Secure Intel. You send an email and you will be added to the Slack channel. Jumo, there's another question here for you. You said at the end of the program, are we getting a certificate of internship or training certificate?
Okay, so that has been answered already by OJ. I guess maybe that person joined late.
Yes.
We'll be getting certificates of participation basically, but the one we really want you to focus on getting would be the ones that are provided, the ones that are given to you by the CSP, which are going to give you access to by helping you get very, very good rates, subsidized vouchers to take the exams for, right? But after you're done with this training, you're going to definitely get a certification to prove that okay, you went through this training with us.
I think most of the other questions here will definitely be answered. Questions on data science, data engineering will definitely be answered during the other presentations and the course of the training. One more thing I would like to state, as Blessing has rightly said, there are some questions that you may or should have to use Google for. Okay. While the induction, it's like Jumo said, you'll be seeing a lot of our faces and hearing a lot of our voices. In the course of the 6 months, there'll be a lot of self-trainings as well. So your ability to search for things, ask the right questions, make your own research is very important. So there are some questions that we may not take because, we believe that it's very important that you also, put yourself out there, try to acquire this information. However, if you now get to the point where you've tried to get an information and you get stuck, the questions you then ask will definitely help you help you navigate that block. All right. I don't think there are any further. Okay, someone says, are we going to pay for the certification or is the certification free of charge?
Okay. Just as the program is free, the certificates we're going to be offering you is also free. But the CSPs are definitely going to, you're going to be paying for that, but you're going to be paying the full amount. So you're going to be paying very subsidized amounts because we're going to be helping you in getting vouchers from these providers. So you're not going to pay for the program, but you're going to pay for certification from the CSPs. And by CSP, I mean the cloud service providers. Based on your interest, AWS, Google, Azure, whichever one you're interested in.
So for clarification, for the non-techie yet, some of people that are still on the zero level, you're talking about the certifications that they may want to take, professional certifications they may want to take to boost their CVs, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very, very much. Okay. Someone said, if you have knowledge on the first module, hope you can move to the next module. Is there is that possible?
Well, yeah. So each of the module, each of the courses, right, are gatewayed with a quiz, and at the end of the day, at the end of each module, you're expected to do a project or an assignment as it might have been structured, right? So if you don't pass that, then you won't have access to the next one. So I would say you can't jump the fence basically. So you have to test your knowledge of every level, every module.
Right. Someone said, I'm on the CIL Academy Slack, but I only have access to 3 channels: announcements, CIL AMA session, and CIL General. I think those are the channels that you need at the moment. Everything you need to know will definitely be communicated via those channels in the course of the program.
Balani, let me come in there. For the course 5, they're supposed to be part of a course 5 cloud and data channel. The channel is actually closed. It's a locked channel, so they need to be added by invites. So anyone that is also not on that particular channel should send an email to Academy at Secure Intel.
Okay, to get access to the cloud and data channel.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So, do you want to please drop the email so everybody can pick
Yeah.
it from there?
I've already done that.
Okay. Someone said, what if I'm not able to attend 2 sessions of the induction program? So, can you hear me?
Can you please take it again, Bolani?
All right. Someone said, what if I'm not able to attend the 2 sessions of the induction program? I think this question has been answered, but I don't mind if you answer it again for the last time so that everyone is clear.
All right. So you're expected to attend every session, right? At least for the induction period. It has been said over and over again. The information that you cannot afford to miss that will be shared in each of the sessions. So for your own good, I would advise you. We strongly advise you attend each. And there is a code that will be shared at the end of each session, which you are expected to share back at some point. And if you're not able to provide it, then it's also part of what we use to validate your participation in the program. So just do it to attend each session.
All right. Okay. Blessing is answering a lot of the questions in comment. Thank you very much, Blessing, for helping us.
Yeah, thank you. Aminu, there's a specific person says his question is not being answered. Aminu, can you just paste your question now? Let me take it straight away. Just copy it from wherever you asked earlier and paste it now, and I'll take it straight away. We can't answer all questions, to be honest, but we would go through all of them again and try to answer them in subsequent sessions. This is why you need to. Okay, but Aminu, can you just paste your question in now? I'm still waiting, and I'll answer it straight away. No, I've not seen through. I've seen more questions coming. I've not seen anyone from you. Eric, no, there's no recorded session. We're not giving recorded sessions. Can people still join the program as of today? Juan, yes or no?
That question should go to James, actually. James, is
Yes
the
or no, please?
application still open?
Still open?
So they can no longer join the program. It's closed.
Oh, so sorry. No more joining. Gate closed, right? I'm going to type that also in. At the end of the program, Aminu, at the end of the program, can one get certification for both data and cloud engineering? Well, if you can get for both, also let me know and I'll also send you a gift, right? You got 6 months. Yeah, if you got 6 months and you can get for both of them, just write me, I'll give you a special gift. It's challenging, right? Let me come on video so you can see my face when I say this. It's challenging, but I've had people do it. It is not the intent of this program to do those things that you see on LinkedIn where people say 6 certifications in 6 weeks. There is a way to do it, but you don't learn anything. Okay. Our intent in this program is to take something, take one thing, know it well, and on the other side of 6 months, you look at your competency and capability, and you can work anywhere in the world, right? Anywhere on earth or even in Mars. So I would say to us coming on this program, pick one, either pick data or pick cloud. Don't be that greedy hunter that wanted everything and got nothing. Okay. So the aim is not how many certifications can I get in 6 months, data cloud and all. No. It's to get you grounded in one thing. And when you get that one thing and you stabilize yourself on that one thing, then you're good enough. Go and play with another. Okay. So today I can tell you data engineering is not my area of specialty, but I've got people in the academy that are really, really good on it. Okay. I don't want to specialize in data engineering. So I can have a conversation with you. I can design you pipelines. I can do whatever I need me to do, but I don't want to specialize in it. And that's a choice of mine. And it's not made any difference to my career. Okay. I'm still flying ahead as I should. So please do not, Aminu, do not think of should I get both at the same time? Why do you need both? And some of these things is what I'm going to be talking to some of you. I tend to make my time seriously available, and trust me, my time is particularly expensive, but I tend to make it freely and seriously available on programs like this. And you find me talking to some of you one-on-one, yeah, privately, and we kind of explore why do you think you want both of them? And when we talk through these things over time, you kind of go, yeah, I see the need to either go for one, or maybe I still want to go for the two. Okay. So remember, bottom line is the aim is not a race to as many certificates as possible. The aim is to get yourself from wherever you are today to become an expert techie in one of these fields, if you can do it. And I trust that you all can do it. I think one of these slides towards the end, there's a message that says we're rooting for you. We're all here to help you get there. Okay. So Aminu, I hope your question has been answered now. Thank you very much. Right.
Thank you very much. I've seen some people asking questions that have been answered over and over again. As Jomo has stated, there is some of these sessions will be posted on our YouTube channel. The YouTube channel link will be shared on the Slack platform. Jay will share that with all of us so that we can actually rewatch the sessions. For those of us who had like bad networks during the session, because a lot of questions have been answered before. Some of us are just joining, so we may not be able to take all our questions again. Most of these questions have been answered, please. Okay, the email to send the email address is academy at sorry, Jay, can you state the email address again so that everyone gets it?
academy@secureintel.com. It's in the chat.
Okay, academy@secureintel.com. Okay. Maybe in the afternoon we'll have it presented up so that everyone can see it again on their screen. There's a lot of questions, so you know some people might miss the response.
All right, so there's a question I'm seeing here, which will make me say this. Sorry, Bolanzi.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's Blessings already said it, and during the course of this program, you also see the need for it. But I think I should mention it now. You need to get comfortable asking Google questions, right? So there's a question here that says, please, the CSP, is it recognized globally? Like what that means is that you're saying is AWS recognized globally, right? So what you want to do in that kind of scenario is to check or understand what CSP is. We mentioned it already on the call, but you can just do a further research of what a CSP is and how important they are into this technology landscape and who are the players in this space, and getting that certification, what does that mean for you? But just to answer that question, is very, very recognized globally. But much more than my response is you should try and do your own research. And again, this program itself is self-paced, so you need to be motivated yourself. And part of how you prove your motivation is by doing a lot of research. Yeah. So just to talk on that before we move forward. Bolani, you can go ahead.
Thank you very much, Jomo. I see most of the questions. Oh, Victor said, I asked a question, I need clarification. I'm not sure what you need clarification on. Victor, can you post your question again so we know what you need clarification on? Okay. Oh, someone said, please, my interest is not the certificate, but I need a job. Juwon, do you have an answer for that?
Yeah, that's very straight to the point, and I'll prefer if OJ or Blessing answers that.
Sorry, what's the question again?
The question,
okay, go ahead, Bonnie.
Yeah.
So my interest is not the certificate.
In what?
I need a job.
No, you're breaking out pathway.
Certificate.
A job, not certificate. Got you. I got you.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't get the question because I was trying to answer Rabiu's question, and I'll come to that question in a bit. Rabiu is saying, I'm a teacher by profession and I have a class now. Can I please attend to the student? Rabiu, it made me smile. It really made me smile. Please do attend to your student. And I'm very grateful that you managed to find time in between your profession to even join. And if you need some extra support, I know teaching really demands time and you might struggle with finding time in between. So Rabi, reach out to me privately and I would make sure you have all the support you need to make sure that you're attending to both your students and also attending this course. Well done, you. Well done. Job, not certificates. Right. So I'm going to start by saying, right, I want a bed, but I don't want a house. Now that's a very big ask to have, right? You can put my bed outside and I sleep in the cold, then that means I'm not going to survive for long. You want both. Yeah. Who is the person asking that question? Can I have your name?
Okay, that's Robert.
Robert, you want both. Yeah.
Robert.
Yeah, Robert, or if I call you Bob, as well call Robert, you want both actually, right? You want both a certificate and if you want a job. In reality, put it this way, if I turn up at your house today and I say, I can help you build a house, right? You're gonna ask me what qualifies you to do so. And I'm like, oh God, I'm a builder, right? How do you prove you're a builder? Right? There's something I have to show to you to tell you that this competency I'm claiming, someone has verified that I'm competent enough to do it. Okay, so don't think too much about the job aspect of it. The truth is, you want both. You want a job, you want a certificate. Okay, but I would say focus on getting that competency. Once you get the competency, as Kosim said in the answers earlier, competency is the key word here. Once you get the competency, both of them comes for free. If you get the competency and I put an exam in front of you, there's no way you're going to fail it. And I'll tell you a story. My granddad used to do something. When you came back from an exam, he would say to you, are you going to pass the exam? I'm like, Granddad, we don't know. We just came back from the exam. And he would say to us, what do you mean by you don't know? Someone asks you, what is your name? And you answered your name. You should know you've passed the exam. So if you've got the competency, right, and the certification exam is put in front of you, you're just going to pass it. That's natural. And if you pass the certification exam, it gives you that more confidence when you go and talk to an employer and say, look, I can do this for you. The employer goes, oh, yeah, I can see you can do that because there is a certificate from a very globally recognized body, Amazon, Microsoft, saying you can do this. So therefore, I'm happy to employ you. Okay. Employability is something I'll probably find time to talk to you about on this program. This program is not about teaching you how to get a job, but I'll drop this to you for free. A lot of you want a job, but cannot tell me what I need. So here's my company. Tell me what I need. If you start in front of me for 10 minutes, I can tell if I'm going to employ you or not. Right? If you know the problem that I have as a company, as a going concern, why wouldn't I employ you? So employability is a whole different discussion, which I mean, James Joe, find me a schedule on along the 6 months. I would talk to some people about how to get yourself employed. But let me put this out here today. Get yourself on this program, get that commitment in, get that focus, and get the competency. If you can do that, I would say to you, the competency and the job comes to those who are prepared. Okay?
Thank you very much, Blessing. Thank you, everyone. That's the competency and the job comes to those who are prepared. Even I have to write that down somewhere. So yes. Can we watch the YouTube videos as a form of validating our attendance for the program? No.
So there's one thing where people, or let me say the kind of audience that that get to this program, we always find a loophole to everything. I mean, how does that even occur to you? If you're watching the YouTube video, is not the same thing as attending this call we're on right now. And no, it will not be, because you not get the code on YouTube channel. And please, no. Thank you. That's a very funny one actually. All right, Bonali.
Right. Okay, someone said, I want to implore that our mentors follow us up, probably via email, keep us going and learning. It is very easy to start, but we're not always prepared for the inadvertent things that along the way. Blessing, would you like to take that? I don't know if you can hear me.
I certainly can hear you, Balani. Can you read that out to me again, please?
I want to implore that our mentors follow us up, probably via email, to keep us going and learning. It's very easy to start, but we're not always prepared for the inadvertent things along the way.
Yes, yes, we understand. And not only that is it you need that kind of follow-up, but also this program is intense. And I've said this like a million times today. You're going to find, even myself, when I tried to keep up with cohort 4 last time, I struggled along the way. So I know your struggles. You're doing your jobs 9 to 5, you've got family, life happens. Okay. I can't promise you we have the resources to chase you. I can't. Okay. We don't. Because as part of this, don't forget we're doing this for free. If we're doing this for free, a lot of the people that you're going to see on this program are quite expensive resources, very experienced, very expensive. We'd have to find the money to pay them somewhere. And we're not being sponsored by Coca-Cola or some other big companies. Everyone is making a sacrifice here. So the one sacrifice I will ask from you is just try. Okay. Set a reminder on your phone. Put stuff in your calendar. Okay. Just make that attempt to try. Our Slack messages will be coming into your inbox where you have groups. Your group members will be talking to you. You'll be getting all these notifications. Download things like Slack on your phone so that the notifications are flowing straight to you. Okay, you have to make that effort. We will try to reach out to you to encourage you where possible, but do not depend on that. Okay, if you cannot commit to the program, if you can't make certain sacrifices to commit to the program, then it's going to be difficult overall, right? I don't want to start talking about the sacrifices I've made this morning to actually be in front of you today. You don't want to know. I don't want to go into the details of that. But every one of us you're seeing today on this program have made serious sacrifices just to be here today. And that's what I need from you. Bring in that commitment. Put reminders on your phone. Get a fellow intern on this program. Join with them. Okay. Let them keep you going. But I can't promise you the resources from my faculty. I can't. We'll try, but it's not a promise. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Blessing. Someone is asking, Olufemi is asking, what materials can you recommend or a website that can help us study more or prepare for the modules as they are unfolding?
We have outlines. So we have outlines of what you need to do. We have curated, and the word is curated. We've pulled together different sources of content that would give to you each week on this program. There is a certain list of content that you need to go and cover. Okay, so don't worry too much about that. We'll provide you that list of content to cover, and you will not need to pay for any of them. If there's anything that requires paying for, we'll make sure that I've already paid for them for you so you can access them for free. Okay. You, in addition to the courses that we've put together, you will find yourself every now and then needing to go and get additional knowledge from somewhere. But there are lots and lots of open resources. Open resources are available to you that are free, that you can build stuff. So we'll give you the ones that we want you to work on. Don't let that limit you. If you go through those ones and you need more, please reach out to the mentors, reach out to the faculty leads, and we can either point you to more that can help you or you can find them yourself. My focus will be helping you find those things yourself. Okay? Well done. Next question.
Another one says, please, can I combine full stack web development with this training?
Here comes the IT speak again. So what's full stack web development, right? Let's get into, I'll say, reserve that question. Whoever has asked that question, keep it somewhere and let's get into the program and then ask that question again in week 2 or 3. Okay.
Right. So this person, Nicholas is saying, so if I have 6 hours per day to put into this, can I go ahead with both? That's both cloud and data.
Again, my recommendation is don't try to go with both. Okay. At the initial stages, the concept we'll be introducing to you would be quite looking like they're simple. So you might think, oh, that's so simple. I'll do the cloud, I'll do the data, right? As you start to advance further, you start to come across very complex and complicated things that you spread yourself thin. If you spread yourself too thin, you get overwhelmed. If you get overwhelmed, emotions. There's a psychological aspect to this. There's a mental health you need to think of on this. If you get overwhelmed, you give up. We don't want you to give up. So again, I recommend do not try to go for both on the long haul. Within the first few weeks, try and get knowledge of both if you like, just to get a sense of what cloud and data entails. But as you proceed, please narrow it down, settle on one. That is my recommendation.
All right. Thank you very much, Blessing. We would like to answer a lot of questions, but not to worry. That's why we have the afternoon session. We have section tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So keep those questions. If your questions were not answered today, we apologize, but we would like to take a break now so that the faculty could rest and you could also rest and do some other things with your day. So please, if you have any more questions that were not answered, you could bring those questions back in the afternoon, and hopefully, you could get answers. I would implore us not to miss the afternoon session. So we're having some of our guest speakers come to talk to us, and it's going to be a very interesting session. We have someone from AWS come to talk to us. We have someone from Microsoft come to talk to us as well. So I would advise we don't miss it. Believe me, you don't want to miss these sessions. Also, they were talking about cloud engineering, 10,000 feet. So for those of us who are thinking of, okay, cloud or data, here it is. You're going to get an overview of what cloud engineering is about. So keep your, should I say, appetite watered. Be ready for the afternoon sessions. Bring back your questions. Very sorry, we cannot take everything right now. We would have to go, but we will try our best to continue answering these questions throughout the induction. Hopefully we all get clarity. For those of us that have not joined the Slack channel, send an email to academy@secureintel.com, and someone will definitely answer you and put you on the channel. Thank you very much for joining the morning session. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you, Jumo. Thank you, OJ. Thank you, James. And thank you to everyone that has been commenting, asking questions, and engaging on the channel. It was good to have us this morning. Hopefully to see you all this afternoon. Have a good morning.